So it takes to the installation. I'll click on Windows, and after that scroll down a bit and then click on getting started with a Docker. So this Docker exercise consists of this image, this much of exercises in it. So I will begin with installation of Packer. So to install the Packer manual way, for Mac or Linux or Windows, the logic is very simple. You download the binary file and then attach with the path, and you download the binary file, place that binary file inside the C drive in a certain directory, and then copy that directory and paste that directory in the path environment variable. That's it. This is how we do. This is how we have done for the Terraform, and the same way you have to do. But this time I want to go with the Chocolatey. I want to go with the automatic installation. So Chocolatey is much easier, but you should have this package manager in your system. So I have installed this Chocolatey well before, maybe 2 years back. So so you also install this Chocolatey. It would be much easier to handle a lot of softwares in Windows machine. So I'll copy this, and I will go to the uh, Windows PowerShell and run it as administrator, and I'll give S. So it's up. Clear the screen and paste the command, and I'll put Y option. Chocolatey version 1.1.0 I have. So now installing the following package, that's a Packer, and Packer has been downloaded 100%. So now the Packer has been version 1.8.4 is being installed in my machine. So it's going to take a bit of more time because it's 1.42 MB has been done, and then 31.42 MB has to be done. So now I'll get into the documentation once, and I'll show you. So total, so here we are going to do 6 tutorials, out of which the first one is installation of Packer. Once the Packer installation is done, then we have to verify the installation. To verify the installation, again we'll do, after installing Packer, verify the installation worked by opening a new command prompt or console and check that Packer is available. That's what the verification we are going to do. And then once verification is done, we are clear that we have the Packer in with us. So we will continue to the next step. Then the second exercise that we are going to do here is building an image. So building an image. So here we are going to write a Packer file. The first Packer template, we instead of calling a configuration file or something, we will call it as a Packer template from now onwards, so that it would be much clearer. So Packer template, we are going to create a Packer template. So this Packer template consists of a first block. First section is Packer section, and then after that we have the source section, then the build section. So this is about our file. Okay, so once it is done, once we have written it, then we will do Packer init, and then Packer format, Packer validate, and then build it using build command, and then the file. So then finally we'll check what is going to happen. This is our second exercise. I think first exercise is done. Now it's taking a lot of time, 15.17 MB. So it has to be it takes I think 3 more minutes. Let's wait for that. Once installation is done, then we will go for the second exercise. So now the first exercise is going on. So once it is done, then we'll go for the second exercise in this. So it's done now. So the Packer has been the installation of Packer was successful, and the Packer has been installed successfully. So now let's validate the installation of Packer using the first command we are going to use is Packer version. Just give version, Packer version. So here it is, the Packer version is 1.8.4. so your version of Packer is out of date. Okay, that's fine, it's not an issue. So the latest version is 1.8.5. That's fine, it's not a big deal. Okay, so then clear the screen and do one more thing, that is Packer and enter. So that's it. So this is how to use the Packer commands. This is the syntax of the Packer command. It begins with the Packer, and you can use a version or any option. These are options, and then you can have a command in between a command and then sub command. You can have your options, and then finally, if you want, you can add an argument. Obviously, our template name is an argument for us. So with this command, an option, sub command, and arguments. So that's the syntax of our Packer Packer command, Packer commands. Okay, so now all done, all set. The first exercise is being done successfully. Installation of Packer in Windows machine. It's done. So now it's time to enter into second exercise, that build an image. Build an image. So to do that, what I will do is I will go to this folder. So here I have created the Packer tutorial, and I will create one more folder here, that is Packer exercises, and I DevOps for you. So let me open it. So here we are going to write our first exercise, but I'll write the folder name. So it is build exercise. This is build exercise, that's it. So sorry, I'll change it as build exercise 1. In this I will open using VS Code, and I'll write the file. So the file name I'm going to give is a Docker, and then Ubuntu dot pkr, that's pkr is Packer dot HCL. That's the name I'm going to give. So the file name is Docker Ubuntu dot pkr dot HCL. Yes, your file is ready. So let's start writing the blocks. So now let's begin adding the blocks. So add the following block to this. The first will begin with the Packer section. So Packer, and then space, braces. So inside that we will write information about plugins. So required plugins for us is required plugins we are going to mention. So what is that? Docker is our first plugin, and then so we have to mention the information about the Docker, because here we are going to use a Docker plugin only, so that's the reason. So Docker and version of the Docker should be greater than or equals to 0.0.7, and then close the quotation. Then source, from where do you want to get this file? From github.com of HashiCorp Docker. Yeah. So this is the source and this is the version. You go there to the source directory, source repository, and you find Docker there and you download it with the version anything which is greater than or equals to 0.07. This is our first section. The first section does is bringing the required plugins. Okay, our first section is done. Now it's time to look into second section. So here we are going to write about the source section, and then source. So Docker, Ubuntu. So image name that we are going to use is Docker. Image that we are going to use is Ubuntu colon, and Xenial is the tag, and commit equals to true. This is a boolean one. So this is also done. Now let's write the third one. This is the build one, the most important one. Build one. Without this it's impossible to build. So name I want to give intuitive DevOps for you. Intuitive DevOps for you Packer build tutorial. So this is what our name of the build. Then sources that you want to use is, of course, a list of sources we are going to use, but one source is source dot docker dot ubuntu, and then close this. So this is our complete file: Packer section, source section, and then build section. So basically it brings the Docker plugin, then it pulls the Docker image, that is Ubuntu image, and then remaining thing is it will build it at the source.docker.ubuntu. So let me close this one, save this one, and then close it. So here is that file that you can find out. Okay, in this I just want to go through the these things one by one. The first block, if you can see the Packer block. The Packer block contains the Packer settings, including specifying a required Packer version. In addition, you will find a required plugin. So block requires plugin block in the Packer block, so which specifies all the plugins required by the template to build your image, even though Packer is packaged into a single binary. Then we have a source block. The source block configures a specific builder plugin, which is then invoked by a build block. So source blocks uses builders and communicators to define what kind of virtualization to use. So how to launch the image you want to provision, and how to connect to it. So builders and communicators are bundled together and configured side by side in a source block. So then the final one that you can see in this example is so if you see the source block here that I have mentioned on the on this file in this template, the builder type is, what is the builder type that we have mentioned is Docker. The builder type that we have mentioned is Docker, and then the name we have given is Ubuntu. Okay, so each builder has its own unique set of configuration attributes. So the Docker builder starts a Docker container, runs provisioners with this container, that then exports the container for reuse or commit this image either into any kind of repository that we have mentioned as a post processor. So in this example, the Docker builder configuration creates a Docker image using Ubuntu Xenial. So that's the image that it's going to create, and as the base image, this is the base image it's going to bring, and then commits that container then to an image. So then we have the build block. The build block defines what Packer should do with the Docker container after it launches. So in this example, template, a build block references to the Docker image defined by the source block above. So that's what is a complete, a detailed description about the each section that I have mentioned in this file, uh, in this the template. In spite of saying file, it's better to say template. So let me save this one, and it's time to initialize the Packer template configuration. For that, let me open a git bash in this section. So git bash, and then maximize it. Okay, so now here let us check whether Packer available or not. Packer space enter. So usage of Packer, so that means Packer is absolutely perfectly available. So now it's time to initialize our Packer configuration. That's the first step. To initialize your Packer configuration, you have to type Packer and then init and then so the Packer initialization has been done. So Packer will download the plugin you have defined above. So in this case, we have mentioned that the plugin could be anything which can be greater than the version 0.0.7. So we have run the Packer init as, so you can run this Packer as many times, Packer init as many times as you would like. If you have already, you have the plugins you need, so Packer will exit without an output. So that's it. We have run it before, so it's not going to run it again and again. So I have run it before, so uh, uh, even if you run it again and again, so it's going to exit without any output. So Packer has now downloaded and installed the Docker plugin, so it's ready to build the Docker image. So now, but before that, let's format the uh, Packer file. Let's format and validate our Packer file. So always I recommend using consistent formatting in all of your template files. So for that, we have to use Packer and then fmt dot. So this command updates the templates in the current directory for readability and consistency. So format your template always, and Packer will print out the names of the files it modified, if any. In this case, your template file was already formatted correctly. So you can see that it's been formatted correctly. So when I do it again, it's not going to print the name of that because it has already been formatted. So Packer Packer did not return when I gave format again. So this time it did not give. So now we have to make sure our configuration is syntactically valid and internally consistent by using the Packer validate validate dot command. So it says validate. So we validated our template, and it has detected if Packer detect any invalid configuration, Packer will print out the file name and then the error type and the line number of the invalid configuration. But in our example, the Packer file that we have, the template file that we have provided is absolutely fine. It has printed the configuration is valid. And let me clear the screen, and so we are ready to build our image. So build our Packer image. So build the image with the Packer build dot. So basically the dot is argument. So I'm saying uh, this current present working directory has a file. You go there and find a file with the extension dot pkr.hcl. So Packer will print out the output. Let's look into that output. What is going to be printed? So Packer build dot. So demonstrate HCL Packer dot docker dot Ubuntu. So that's fine. So as the demonstration has been begun, so it's creating a temporary directory for sharing that. So here you can see that pulling the Docker image Ubuntu with the tag Xenial, and then it's pulling that image from there. The pull is completed, download has been done, pull is absolutely completed. So of course it's been finished. Let me go up and I just want you to go through the each step so that it will be much clearer for you. So where is that? Yeah, here with this the pull has been completed, and this is the name of the layer and then file name, the complete, and then download the newer image for this, the Docker. Then it's starting the Docker container also. Then so it's running a Docker using this command Docker run -v, and this is the location, and this is the image that has been mentioned, and then finally this is your container with an ID. And so after that the container has been committed, and you can see that the image ID, and once it is done it's the killing the container has been killed. And then finally, so wait completed after 20 seconds and 761 milliseconds, builds finished. The artifacts of builds are this. So let me look at Docker images. You see there are two images, and let me give Docker ps. There is no container, so two images because the containers has come up and has gone. So this is okay, no container. So let me get into the Docker and you'll see the images. You see here the Ubuntu image with the Xenial, and you can see that image. And let me go to the containers. There is no container, but image has been created. Okay, so that's how using a Packer template you can even create a Docker image. So if you want to delete this image, the only thing is you have to use Docker commands. I hope if you do not know about the Docker commands at this moment, don't worry. So whatever command that I am giving, just use that command. Anyway, in our next module, next module, in the sixth module, we are going to discuss about the Docker in detail. We are going to do a lot of exercises. Okay, so at this moment I'm going to delete this file Docker RMI, and then image ID I want to copy. So I'll copy this image ID first and then paste it. So there is no container attached to it, so it's been deleted. So then let me check the Docker images, how many images are there. So one more image, that's Xenial. So I'm gonna delete this also, Docker RMI, and the image ID is B. Okay, I can use tag also, no? Xenial. Okay, that's repository Ubuntu I can use. Copy and then paste it here. Done. So with this we are able to successfully demonstrate building an image exercise also. So we have installed the Packer, and then we have also uh, we have also built an image using the Packer template.